Hey, what is up, guys? Blunt Guts here. This is a Watch Horror Realms video. Thank you so much for tuning into my channel. I really appreciate it. Please do like and subscribe if you do enjoy my content. I've got Talula up on the screen right now. She is going to be on a 15x rate up banner this weekend with our boy Arrogance, one of my favorite heroes in the game. Question is the good hero or the bad hero? I feel like these 15x rate ups, almost always we've got one good one. We know Arrogance is really good, and then we've got one bad one. Now the question is Talula the bad one? And honestly, you're gonna have to watch the rest of this video to find out what I think. But I will say she is kind of crazy complicated. She's got some weird elements to her kit. When she first came out, because she does have a rage regen component to her kit, a lot of folks were asking, is she Elwyn 2.0? I'm going to try to answer that here in this video. I'm going to talk about her base stats first, follow up with discussion of her skills. I'm going to show you some gameplay first so we can get an idea of how she works, where she might be strong, where she might not be strong, and then I'm going to talk through her awakenings. And then hopefully we got a better idea of whether or not she is going to be worth your summon. So, without further ado, let's go take a look at her base stats. I am in the gallery right now. I got Talula at max level. Let's see what she's got going on. So, I'll be honest with you. I feel like I haven't really done very many breakdowns of healers, and so I'm not super familiar with the way their base stats look. So I went and I kind of compared her to some of the other legendary healers in the game to get a better idea of exactly how she stacks up base stat wise. Before we get to that though, I think the most important thing, it really has nothing to do with her stats, and that is her attack range, which you can see kind of above me and to the right on the screen. It is awesome. I will say that. She has a vortex range. That is what we want to see with healers. On top of that, she is a piercer. So if you look at her range right now, if she is deployed in a Piercer comp with a Piercer Lord, then she is going to get an extra 2 tiles. Basically, the corners on this square that she has are going to fill in, meaning that she is going to have a true, basically 5x4 tile range. It's crazy. It's crazy. She's going to be able to cover 20 total tiles with it. So I think that she actually has the biggest, or is tied at the very least, for the biggest healing range in the game. Island gets a similar range when she has been deployed for a little while, and she gets some max stacks of her self buff. But she's in the center of that range, whereas Talula is pointing forward. So this is it's a different kind of dynamic. Very, very cool. At the end of the day, I do love how huge her range is. It's going to allow you to really cover a large area of the map wherever you deploy her. So really, really cool. Let's talk about her base stats here. 11k HP. That's relatively standard, around the same level as Elwyn. And by the way, I am probably going to compare her to Elwyn a lot in this video, because that is the comparison that has been made most consistently, and I'm trying to decide whether or not it's a valid comparison. So don't take me comparing her to Elwyn to mean that it is or isn't, but I'm just trying to get to the bottom of it. So as far as her attack is concerned, 4649, that is on the lower end for legendary healers. Most of them range between about 4600 and 5400 base attack at a 0. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean she's going to be a bad healer. There are other healers that do have really solid healing output that do have about 4600 attack. I'm thinking of Fiercy most prominently is the first one that kind of comes to mind. There's a bunch of other ones though, so something to keep in mind. Next up is her cost, which is at 18. Again, kind of on the higher end for healers. Elwyn is a 16 cost unit, so she is a little bit cheaper. And considering that she is considered to be the best healer in the game, pretty much, then I gotta say it's not a point in Talula's favor, but it is still well within the normal range for healers. Her attack interval is 3 seconds. That is, again, very, very standard. And other than that, there's not really much else to say here. She's going to get 15 rage per second auto. She's also going to get 9 rage regen per basic attack, per basic heal that she does, and then when she is attacked, she's going to get 6 rage per hit. Let's go take a look at her skills. All right, so I do have her in Guild Boss 1 here. We are on Nightmare 4. I wanted it to be a hard-hitting stage of Guild Boss 1 so that we can kind of showcase her healing ability, or not showcase it, depending on how it works out. But let's talk through her skills now, and let's start off with her talent. So, when deployed, summons 3 butterflies around the hero. each granting 1 stack of Butterfly Waltz. When a butterfly lands on an ally, it grants Forest Spirit to them, converts 50% of extra attack speed to healing effect. So let's talk through all of these things because there's a lot going on in the talent. First up is Butterfly Waltz. And Butterfly Waltz is a self buff that she provides to herself. When she is deployed, she spawns 3 butterflies that kind of spin around her. Now, she can send those butterflies out to allies to heal them. However, when they are on her, for each butterfly that is circling her, she's going to get 1 stack of this Butterfly Waltz buff. So every 2 seconds restores HP based on the carrier's max HP and the caster's attack. So her max HP, her attack. The healing is proportional to the number of stacks. Each stack also increases damage reduction by 10%. It cannot be dispelled. It is a permanent debuff, or buff, excuse me. If she does have 3 butterflies on her, she will get a 30% damage reduction. That is nice. Problem being, though, that she is going to send these butterflies out and she's going to lose that damage reduction. It does make it a bit unreliable, and that is something that I do not love about her kit. Next up, Forest Spirit. This is the buff that she does provide to her allies when she does send the butterflies to them. So every 2 seconds, restores HP based on the carrier's max HP and the caster's attack for at least 8 seconds. After 8 seconds, if the carrier has 100% HP, the butterfly will fly to another wounded ally within 1 tile or return to the caster, to Talula. The carrier cannot attract more butterflies, cannot be dispelled. And as you can see, people are dying in the background because those butterflies, they ain't doing their job. So not so great. The final bit of her kit is that her extra attack speed is going to be converted into healing effects. So that extra attack speed means any attack speed over 100 attack speed. So any that you'd have on gear, anything like that, is going to grant her extra attack speed. And as we die, we move on to the next skill. Let's talk about her basic attack here. So it's titled Single Target Heal, which I don't think is really accurate in truth, but, you know, whatever. Very bland, too. We got to come up with some better names for these basic attacks, Moonton. I think that we can be a little bit more creative than just literally saying what they are. In any case, sends 1 butterfly to 1 ally in range. So again, those butterflies are how she sends her healing out. She has 3 of them. If the hero isn't carrying Butterfly Waltz, that's her. If she isn't carrying Butterfly Waltz, she's going to continuously enhance an ally carrying Forest Spirit instead, increasing the base healing of Forest Spirit by 50%. So if all of her butterflies are out, she is going to do more healing with Forest Spirit. I don't know the targeting logic on this, if it is something that where it targets the ally with the lowest health or anything like that. I haven't really been able to determine that, but reportedly, she does have increased AI. So you would hope that, I said increased, improved AI, I guess I should say. So hopefully she is going to be healing the right person. That was an issue with her originally, but they have made some adjustments to her. Let's take a look at her ultimate. All right, her ultimate, when fully skilled up, is 800 rage cost, 500 initial rage. It does have a 15-second duration. Enchanted Ritual. Channels a ritual and instantly sends 1 butterfly to each of up to 3 allies in range during the ritual. It's going off on the screen right now. During the ritual, all the healing effect, rage regen, dispel, and damage reduction, we'll talk about those in a second, from Forest Spirit, also apply to allies adjacent to the carriers of Forest Spirit, and the butterflies won't leave their carriers before the ritual ends. So the butterflies are going to freeze. Typically, they'll only stay for 8 seconds. If the unit is max HP, or does have max HP, they will depart and go back to the caster or to somebody else. You can see lots of units dying once again in the background here. There's just, I'm trying to present an accurate depiction of Talula here. So if you're getting the idea, you know, read between the lines here. But in any case, this ultimate, basically what it does is it allows all of the units that are near one another that do have the butterflies to share the effect. So it is effective during that period. The problem is, as you can see on the screen right now, is that outside of that period, her healing is very random, and she doesn't do a great job of keeping people up. There's some redeeming aspects to her kit. I just don't think she's somebody that can solo heal something, is really what it kind of comes down to, and you can kind of see that apparently on the screen right now. It's the last I'll talk about it because it's probably going to happen again, as I've committed to doing the rest of this breakdown in Nightmare 4. But let's talk about her first passive. All right, so her first passive here, Fairy's Touch. Forest Spirit and Butterfly Waltz have a 100% chance to dispel one debuff from each carrier every 2 seconds. That is awesome. Now, it starts off as a 50% chance when you get her fully skilled up. It does become a 100% chance, meaning that she can keep basically 3 units constantly dispelled. The problem being, though, that you don't have any control over which units those are. So, how's it going to prioritize? Typically, the healing seems to be what is prioritized right now. So the units with lower health are going to get priority with the butterflies. That doesn't mean that's necessarily who you want to dispel. So you have no active control over it. It's kind of awkward at the end of the day. I think in a supplementary role to reduce overall damage would be great. But as somebody that you're relying on in order to completely dispel your team, she's not going to be all that effective at it. And on top of that, her heals, as you can see on the screen, are just not all that great. So she's not going to do a good job of keeping everybody else up either. That is a big issue. That is a big issue. Let's go take a look at her next passive. Right, her last passive, her last skill, Woodland Blessing. Forest Spirit also grants the carrier physical damage reduction, magic damage reduction, and applies rage regen. Now remember, Forest Spirit is the buff that the allies of Talula do gain when she does send a butterfly to them, so they're going to get basically heals as well as all these other buffs. The physical and magic damage reduction are at 30% apiece when fully skilled up, and the rage regen is 1% rage per second, which is essentially equivalent to the rage regen that Elwyn does provide globally. So Talula is only going to apply that rage regen to the units that do have her butterflies. Elwyn is going to provide that to everybody. So it's not really a fair comparison. One thing I will say, we'll talk about the Awakenings in a second. That's going to be next up. But there is an Awakening that does substantially increase the rage regen that Talula does provide. Part of the problem, as with all this stuff, is that her butterfly distribution, which, good God, I never thought I'd be saying that in one of these videos. Her butterfly distribution is just too random, and you have no control over it. And as a result, it means that she is not going to be effectively providing rage regen. On top of that, she won't actually distribute her butterflies unless somebody needs healing, meaning that the only time that you're going to get rage regen on somebody is if they need heals. And there are many times in a fight when the units that need the rage regen the most, the damage dealers, are not going to be getting those butterflies because they don't need any heals. It's the tanks that are going to be getting them, and she can actually send multiple butterflies to the same target, further complicating the problem. As you can see, more units are dying in the background as well. So this is an issue. This is a big issue with her kit, because despite the fact that she provides all these great buffs, what she doesn't do is effectively provide these great buffs. And that's something that I've seen over and over and over again in my testing of her. Let's go take a look at her Awakenings. Maybe they are going to address some of the issues that I'm talking about. All right, let's talk about these Awakenings. Let's see if they do help resolve some of the issues that she does have with her kit. The A1. When a butterfly lands on an ally, the ally restores 15% HP. That is nice. Extra healing. I do see that her main issue that I see is that she doesn't provide enough healing. That's and I'd say reactive healing more than anything. So this is going to help with that to a degree, but it's not going to resolve the randomness of her butterflies. It's not going to resolve the fact that butterflies are going to stick, and then all of a sudden, when she has 3 butterflies out on units, there's no way for her to heal anybody beyond that, aside from her ultimate anyway. And even then, that is, again, limited by where the butterflies are placed. So I don't know. There's just all sorts of issues with this kit. I know they tried to fix it, but they didn't do a very good job. That's my take. Maybe I'm missing something, but that is my take. A2 plus 8 healing effect. This is god-awful. This is as minimal of a bonus as you could possibly have. I would much rather have a bonus attack than this, but it is what it is. So 8 healing effect on the A2. A3 enhances her rage regen. This is the biggest one, in my opinion. It reads, Woodland Blessings rage regen per second increases by an extra 1%. So she does 1% per second right now. It is going to be 2% per second after this. So it effectively doubles the rage regen that she does provide to allies. Now, again, it's not as great as it sounds because you need to have it on the unit that you want to have extra rage regen. Now, it might be great for cycling through tank ultimates because that does seem to be where the butterflies go more often than not. But if you want to heal other people in your team or give them rage regen, then it's a crapshoot because you don't know where those things are going to come from. honestly, I have so many issues with the way that she works. I just don't understand how she's going to be functional in really any place in the game, but in particular in GVG, where I just don't think that she is adequate. Maybe alongside another healer. Let's take a look at the A4. +1 Rage Regen Auto. That is laughably bad. So just blech, blech. A5, when a butterfly returns to the hero, restores 50 rage. It's kind of random at the end of the day. You know, like there's a chance that butterflies are going to return to her. They might not. You can't really count on this rage regen. She does have an 800 rage cost ultimate when fully skilled up, so that is going to mean that every time this happens, you're getting 1/16 of an ultimate, basically. It's helpful. I mean, I'm not going to scoff at it. Extra rage is extra rage, and this is going to help her cycle back around to having her only really reactive group heal anyway. So that is going to help her out relatively significantly, but I just don't think that that is going to be something that is really going to change her as a hero. It's not going to resolve all of the other issues that I've been talking about. So at the end of the day, I don't think that this is really gonna make up for what I believe to be a poorly designed kit. Well, there you have it, guys. I don't really know what to say about Talula. I tested her when she first appeared on the test server, and when we found out that she wasn't coming anytime soon, I didn't make a video. Found out that they were gonna change her AI and fix her, and so I figured I'd wait until her banner popped up, and so here we are. Yeah, I just don't think she's a very good hero at the end of the day. I think she's got some really, really cool aspects to her kit. In particular, I love these buffs right here. This Woodland Bustling passive is really, has a lot of potential. The Forest Spirit buff, if it was controllable in some way, if it was able to be distributed to more units, I think it would be really, really good. But unfortunately, it is capped at 3, meaning that if you are, let's say, in a GVG team where you have, or arena for that matter, where you have 5 units that are on the field, including her, that means there's 4 units that need these butterflies, or potentially 5 if she needs one as well. And that means that 20 to 40% of your team is going to be at risk, and she has no real reactive way to deal with that if her ultimate is not up. And the ultimate is, when fully skilled up, is 800 rage cost. I don't know. I don't know what you do with that. It's just everything is so random. And on top of that, I said, there could be up to 2 people that don't have the butterflies, but that's not necessarily true because she can double stack the butterflies. I've seen 2 butterflies go onto a tank at different points. So I don't know. I just don't really understand what the thought process is behind this. Now, if you want to use her in, say, like in Guild Boss 2 or something like that, I think that's possible. If you are running a 3 healer comp, she does bring a lot of compelling stuff to that. She brings damage reduction. She does bring in rage regen, which is nice. She does bring in the damage reduction. But the problem is you're going to be ultimate limited with that, right? Because the only way that you can apply that to everybody in the group is during the ultimate, when the units that do have the butterflies attached will spread out. And even then, if you get unlucky with butterfly placement, you might not be able to hit everybody in the group, and then you're just kind of screwed. So I don't know. It's just too much RNG for my taste in a game like this where you really want things to be more consistent. I just don't know where she's going to be really good. I think she's got some really powerful aspects to her kit, but where you can use that reliably and depend on her, I just don't know. So that is my take for right now. Maybe somebody will figure out how to leverage her in a way that really utilizes her full kit. One other thing that I will say that I did not mention when I was talking about her skills, I should have mentioned it before, but I did test this. Her rage regen, if you click on this here, let's see if I can move myself out of the way a little bit here. Her rage regen, pay attention to the part in the parentheses here, takes effect only when stronger than the current buff or debuff on the same attribute. So I tested this. Elowen's rage regen does not stack with her, so you cannot use them together and expect to get a huge amount of rage regen. You couldn't get, like, say, combined 3% rage regen per second, which is what it would effectively be by having both those rage regen effects active if you did have her at A3 or above. And that really kills her viability too, because when are you going to bring her in instead of Elowen? And if you remove the rage regen aspect of it, then why would you bring her? I don't know. So I guess this is this is all to say. Going back to what I said in the opening, is she the good hero or the bad hero? I think she is unequivocally the bad hero. I'm sorry to say. I do wish that she was better. Again, I like some of the things on her kit, but I am selling her. No, thank you. I wasn't pulling this weekend anyway, but I'm definitely not pulling now. Love you, Arrogance. I'll see you in February for the Lust Arrogance Part 3. But other than that, I've been Blunt Guts. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. Please do like and subscribe if you do enjoy this video or you did enjoy this video. I will catch you all next time.